When you plant Wyffels Hybrids, you're making a statement that independence and family-owned means something on your farm. So make your choice. Plant your independence. Plant Wyffels.
Hey guys, welcome back to our final episode of the season of InCYde Zone, presented by Wyffels Hybrids. We have Pop-Tarts in the studio today because Iowa State won the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Pop-Tarts Bowl champions.
Straight from the gas station too.
Thank you.
Right off the shelves of Come and Go is the best Pop-Tart you can buy.
Wait a minute,
I know they're fresh.
That's what he was talking about. Which flavors is he looking? He got strawberry. See, Coach Campbell chose cinnamon roll as theirs.
I thought Rocco chose
Rocco
that.
picked it.
He said it was because it was Campbell's favorite.
Oh.
He said that on the podium, but I would have went brown sugar cinnamon.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
I'm actually going to eat one.
Hungry guy.
There's no rules on this pod. It's the last one. Iowa State won 42-41 over Miami. Are you guys jealous you didn't get to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we played in the Cheez-It and Camping World.
Cheez-It and Camping World,
But
yeah.
I wish it was Pop-Tart at that time or something like that.
Over Camping World?
The freaking sideline.
Yeah, that was so
Sick.
cool.
Sick.
That was
The
super
sprinkles.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm really jealous of that celebration that they got at the end there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was cool. They're all getting like little piece of Pop-Tart.
They're like throwing up in the air. I'm like,
Not gonna lie, myself, I wouldn't have picked up any of that Pop-Tart that was just sitting there.
why?
Yeah. Who knows where that's been, right? Like, that just came out of a toaster. Who knows what's in that
That's
toaster?
what I'm saying. Like, how long was that thing sitting there?
Sitting
Like,
there.
I bet you it was all planned. It had to be like, hey,
Yeah,
Miami,
they have all
if you-
three of them in there
Oh,
probably.
they do?
I bet they have to until they pick and then like, all right, pop it out.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, but how long you think that was just sitting in there?
Probably the whole
That's a
game.
big thing. It takes a while to toast, man.
On a football I still have turf in my shoes at home right now from being just around a football field. I know there was probably turf in that Pop-Tart.
Hey, when you win,
Oh, man.
you're just
I didn't
going to
even
enjoy.
think about that.
I think it's funny the way the Pop-Tart looked at the end, the fact that there was nothing left, because I thought it was funny they resurrected the one from last year, which Kansas State barely ate it. When I looked at it, I was like, wait, they really didn't eat much of it. And
They was probably thinking the same thing I was.
Next year, that's not going to be.
No, they don't have,
Ain't gonna have
they don't
nothing
have
to
a
resurrect.
mascot. Oh, I love the dramatics. As players, would you be aware of all that chaos happening, or are you just so zoned in? I know the Cheez-It probably didn't have that much chaos, but
I think the coach answer would be no, you're not paying attention. But yeah, you're paying attention. Like, if I saw a Pop-Tart coming out of the top of the stadium, I'm like, oh, that's kind of sick.
I feel like there's definitely some stuff that you pay attention to, especially like in the week leading up to it, like how much involved with the Pop-Tart deal there was, and even after the game, like everyone was celebrating around the Pop-Tart, having a bite, like that type of stuff. But when you're in game, I feel like you may see like some of the stuff, but like if coach is talking to you, like you're worried about that stuff. It was an intense game all game too, so
Right.
like your attention was pretty locked in.
Yeah, with these bowl games, you get more like theatrics around the game and everything like that. And obviously, like you said, like the coach answer would be like, "No, I wasn't paying attention to that." But everybody, like, you lose focus a little bit
You
just
sit
looking
on-
at that
yeah.
sometimes. But that's just normal.
Yeah, you sit on the bench during like media timeouts, and the coaches are just talking on the headsets with each other about the game plan, and I mean you're just kind of sitting there, so you do see things out there. So
And it like turns away from like the school stuff more towards like the bowl game. Like these bowl games paid a lot of money to have this. So,
Yeah.
like, they want people to be drawn in to see it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the Pop-Tart Bowl did a phenomenal job with their advertising and just like
Oh yeah,
how intentional to like
The
make
trophy.
stuff fun and just different. They did a good job, I thought.
and it helps when it was such a fun and entertaining game to watch too. Like I think I saw the viewership on the Pop-Tart Bowl and it was pretty impressive. I think it was like 6 million with the viewership. It drew more views, I think, than the Penn State's opening playoff game, I want to say.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
yeah, I thought
I turned that Penn State game on for maybe 10 minutes. I
10
saw
minutes.
I saw 3 picks and I was off.
yeah, it was 6.8 million viewers, best audience since 2008.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool.
oh yes, there's the tweet. Thanks, Aiden. No, I agree. The marketing, I think Chris said it in the post game. He was like, I hadn't thought of a Pop-Tart in 20 years. Excuse me. I hadn't either. I don't really eat sweets like those anymore, and I've had a lot of them in the past week.
They're delicious.
I feel like a lot of people are that way. Like I was talking to some friends, and they're like, I don't know if I've ever, like the last time I did have a Pop-Tart, and there you go.
We had them at the bar. Like I
Yeah.
said, when we were celebrating, that's what we were eating. We were literally drinking our drinks with Pop-Tarts at the table.
I saw a
hilarious.
And
funny,
that's definitely their goal, to get that Pop-Tart just stuck in your mind so you think about it every morning.
I saw a funny
Right.
tweet too. It was like the next morning after the game, it was some Iowa State fan tweeted like the off-brand Pop-Tart, and they're like, "This is what Miami's having this morning." I'm like, "That's creative. That's awesome." That had me. I was sitting there and I was like dying laughing. It had like
That's
it was like a
hilarious.
s'mores one or something. It was like total like weird name. So shout out to whoever that was.
That's so funny.
Iowa State Twitter's got to be one of the best out there. Like,
It's hilarious.
so hilarious. They do a great job. So if you're listening to this and you partake in that, keep it up.
This game had a school record for most points scored in a bowl game. And then Campbell's 3 bowl game victories are now the most in school history. He passed Dan McCartney's 2. So
Wow.
2-0 against Mario Cristobal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got his number. Stole his strength coach, and then
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, what'd you guys think of the game? Like you said, it was very intense, very, I don't know. Like you said, there wasn't a dull moment really once it kicked off. So
What, second game in a row, I think? Was K-State the last regular season game?
Yeah. No. Played Arizona State.
Yeah, but you know, starting the game off with the fumble like that and just getting the ball and then taking it from there. The first 4 drives scoring. I mean, you can't really ask for anything better from an offense.
yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun to see Iowa State go out there and play. Obviously, Miami's a great team, very deserving opponent. I thought it was exciting to see Iowa State's offense. Truthfully, consistency, like Jirehl said, starting off with 4 touchdowns, like that's just fun football. Like when you're playing football as like a player, you feel like, holy crap, we got this thing rolling. Like this is just a fun game. It makes the environment really special too. So I thought that was fantastic. Obviously, there's parts of the game that Iowa State can clean up on the game, but hey, we won the football game and get to enjoy that. So super cool. Obviously, a tremendous first season for Coach Mauser, calling the plays. And I thought going out there and scoring 42 on Miami, what better way to cap off his first season and the successes that he had and this team had really than doing that.
Yeah, I was very impressed, and we're all offensive guys, so we love touchdowns here. Like, if a defensive guy was sitting here, he'd probably like, oh, no, the best games are 0 points. They don't do anything. Like, that's fair.
Watch Hawkeye football.
We are a little So we are a little biased here for touchdowns, but I think everyone loves touchdowns. So,
of course.
yeah, I mean, bowl games are really tough. And to go out there and execute, especially in the first half, just going shot for shot with them, that really points it to their, preparation and kind of what went on, for the 2 weeks, I think it was, between the Big 12 championship and that game. Yeah, we've had some games where, bowl games, you're obviously doing stuff. You're in a hotel, like you're going to Topgolf on Tuesday, and Thursday, or the day before the game, you have some event that you got to do. So, I mean, there's a lot of distractions which can lead to slow starts in a bowl game. And to not see that, it's like hats off to us and that staff and those players for preparing and being ready to go.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, all year I kind of knew about Miami's offense, and I knew about their defense too, but not for any good reasons. And I think we exploited everything that we needed to offensively. We ran the ball well. We threw the ball well. I mean, if you look at the stats, you would think they had 308 rushing yards, 216 receiving yards. We only had 145 rushing yards, 270. If you look at the stats, you might think, oh, they killed us, but I think we just managed the game so much better than they did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of that too, kind of talking on that, how bowl games are different. You go down, I bet there's one day they went to Universal Studios. So it's you're on your legs, there's been a unique time obviously between the Big 12 championship and then now where you are doing, you're trying to get a little recovery, you're trying to catch your breath a little bit. So, I mean, it's so fitting with this team and the success and the leadership. I think that's what the coolest thing about this team is like you have guys that have played a lot of football, right? That we're going to have to go out and replace. Jalen Newell, Bo, obviously, you know, we're thinking about him and his injury, but there's so many guys like that were able to. They all they've done is been to bowl games pretty much. So those guys know what it takes to say like, hey, we got to lock in. We got to have our fun. But game day comes, like we are locking in. We're having fun. Obviously, the theatrics are there. But like, hey, like let's send those guys out on the right foot, saying like, hey, they're Cyclone champions, Pop-Tart Bowl champions. So I think it's an incredible group. It's been a lot of fun to watch them throughout their career. You know, as a guy that was maybe a senior when they were coming in and freshmen starting to play, it's like, holy crap, how'd that much time pass already? So, but it's super cool to see kind of like the legacy, you know, that some of us, we walked into, and then now like that, those traditions of winning bowl games and going to bowl games and having those like strong team culture. It's just awesome to see that continue to grow.
Yeah. I think it's, you know, really cool for those guys that left a legacy like that, because at the end of the day, it's all about how you finish, and you always want to win the last game, regardless of who it's against or where it's at, or you know what bowl game it is. It's a really good feeling to go out and win the last game and send the seniors off the right way. Because I mean, I was in the locker room last year. Losing your last game is like not fun at all. So it's really, really, really cool to, you know, send some of those guys out with a win, and they'll for sure remember that forever. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
What impressed you guys the most out of that game?
You know what? I think our offensive line, again, biased, but Miami had a really good defensive line.
Yeah.
And I heard from a couple of the guys, like, yeah, that was the best D-line we've faced all year. And it was a battle up there. It was, you know, every play, just Miami might have had a good pass rush, and then we'd come back with a good pass set, and, you know, pulling and getting out in space and all these things. Like that was a battle up there. And you don't really see that on TV when you see all the touchdowns that, you know, we were scoring and whatnot. But for them to go out there and just keep fighting and keep competing with those guys every play, it was a difference maker. And you could tell like Carson and Abu had some great runs, and you know, that doesn't really happen without, you know, a good offensive line, obviously. And another point, I mean, on top of that is like, I want to bring up Steve-O, another senior, leaving his legacy, huge part of the run game. He's filling holes, you know, going up to linebackers, and those are difference maker blocks. It's the difference between 4 yards and, you know, 25 yards. So I thought he played really well. So that was my big kind of, you know, impression, or best impression.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it. Offensive line to me is, I mean, as a former running back, I mean, I feel like you really can't do anything in the run game, obviously, without the offensive line. And the whole year, Carson's really benefited from the offensive line, and, you know, Coach Clanton having those guys ready and those guys just going out there and making holes. And, you know, once you get past that, once you get to the linebackers, really Carson has been able to just kind of take over from there. And,
right.
You know, when you guys kind of put it on a platter for the running back to just take it home, I mean, he's been doing it all year. And, you know, in this game especially, I think, you know, the dogs really won up front.
The dogs.
I think when you look at that game, obviously that offensive line I thought played really well. One thing that stuck out to me is that final drive, right? Iowa State kept themselves in that football game, scoring points. Right, defense wasn't always, we gave up a lot of points, right? So we weren't perfect on defense, but that offense to go down there and put that drive together, it's one of those things that we've kind of grown accustomed to. It's like, oh, Rocco's. It's kind of like watching Tom Brady roll out there with 2 minutes left. Like you're like, oh, there's going to be some points scored here. You're gonna have a shot. So what Rocco's done this season is consistently put the team in a position to win. And what I'm going to say is what it capped off with is the quarterback sneak, right? Like that line of scrimmage moved. Right, you go out there and you watch the Iowa game, and it did not move. Right, they got stuffed, and then you go out there and you watch the Iowa State game, and it's like, right, we moved people to go out there and be in a position where, hey, that offensive line actually throughout the game got stronger and got better. And I thought they played a really good game, and Iowa State just was able to go out there and be precise and take control of the ball, keep it in good positions, and really allow our playmakers. Jalen Newell had a huge last game with the Cyclone.
Funny story. I'm out at the mall before Christmas. I see Darian Porter, and we're catching up. And I asked him, "Yeah, like, you guys, how's practices going? Are they hard? They're easy? They're good goes. Like, they're good goes. Like, oh, you guys do any 2-minute drills?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And it's, at the time, it's like 2-minute drill. We've talked about it. Not a fun thing to do in practice, but
Definitely the worst drill.
I mean, it's valuable because we've had so many drives this year where we've gone down and won a football game off of. I know technically this game wasn't 2 minutes. It took a lot of clock though. But I mean, executing when it matters the most. So I thought he's a little funny story. But don't go to the mall before Christmas, by the way. Me and my sister wait till the last possible minute to get gifts, and you felt like you're in Times Square enjoying the mall. Like, seriously.
No, yeah, that's a risky choice there from you guys.
I'm an Amazon guy
But
myself.
no judgment. No judgment. So with some of the guys not playing, and of course injuries always bringing us new faces, I felt like there were some people who stood out in this game that we don't typically see. Was there anyone specific that stood out to you guys that you were kind of like, oh, nice, like, okay, that was good performance?
I mean, I know he's played all year really just because of injury already, but I thought Gabe Burkle was great.
Burke.
Like, and like in these bowl games, like people said that they don't matter. Yes, there's some truth to that, but I like to look at these bowl games as like the first game for next year. So like when like leaving going into next year, like you want to have a great last game to go into next year. So you have film. Like my like first game starting was the Cheez-It Bowl, and I was just taking that as like my first game for next year, like just starting. You know what I mean? Just trying to learn as much as possible. And when you can go out and make an impact like Burkle did, especially when obviously the hype before the year started was Benjamin Bramer.
Right.
And, he was hurt all year. So when that kind of happens, you step up, and Gabe Burkle is obviously all year has been doing what he's been doing. But I think this game really was like okay, we got 2 tight ends coming back next year.
It's exciting. I think Isaiah Alston, seeing what he did on the outside a little bit, was like, oh wow, like this dude looks apart, and he went out there.
Been all year?
Yeah.
We got too many guys, man.
Obviously, I thought he showed some flashes, just looked good, going up there, speed strong at the catch point. Eli Green, I thought, had another good game. I mean, I feel, obviously we lose a lot with Jalen and Jaden being gone, but obviously got some guys in the portal. And then seeing some of those guys go out there and make some plays was certainly, kind of a welcome sight. You see, Bramer and Burkle coming back. That could both be huge key parts. And defensively, I thought Zach Lovett played really well.
I
thought
Zachary.
We haven't seen him a ton this year. I feel like most of the games you look down there and you're like, dang, he's down there with just his jersey on, no pad. So obviously we've been having the health issues at linebacker all season. So it was good to see him get to go out there. He just looked really fresh. Looked like he was flying around. Looked like he was having fun playing football. So definitely someone there. And then Zamir Hawk, there were a couple plays where I watched him abuse that center. I was like, I would not want to be that guy because he is driving him straight back, and that dude is teeing off on him. So I thought that it was fun to watch some of those D-line and linebackers get after it a little bit.
Yeah, you knew Zach was going to go off in his home state of Florida.
I knew that,
Yeah, I'm sure he was talking about that with all of his boys back in Florida, and I'm sure he had a lot of people there, which is cool because me and Jirehl were roommates with Zach last year here, so he's a goofball.
Buddy brought in a whole lizard farm.
Yeah,
Crib.
our house became a Floridian zoo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Is that the right word? Floridian zoo? Floridian zoo.
Yeah, bro. There was like what? Yeah. Turtles.
Snake.
He has snakes. All these amphibians and yeah, everything down there, and it's even it's even crazier now. But yeah, no, and he's definitely a Florida boy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Burkle's first touchdown catch, by the way, that was a filthy catch.
Yeah,
that was filthy. But yeah, I mean, you guys hit all the ones I really thought about. I mean, it's like Jirehl was saying, it's a great opportunity for guys to step up, and especially since we have an early game next year. We played the first college football game of the year, And to get those guys to get some reps, get some confidence heading into the off season is huge because you kind of start your off season kind of how you ended this last season. So for some guys to be like, oh, I'm confident I can go out and play really well for the Iowa State Cyclones. That's going to lead into those first couple winter workouts
in 3 weeks.
Right.
Remember that. Like, they literally go back to work in like 3 weeks. So those guys that did play in that game, they do have a little bit more juice going into those workouts for sure.
I feel like, especially when you get those reps, just like you said, like, you know how to prepare. Like, oh, dang, like, I thought I was ready, but, like, hey, I'm actually attacking this a little bit harder because, like, I did get exposed on this play. Or, hey, like, I could play out there with those guys. So, like, I need to keep on grinding. So I think that's huge, too.
And doing it against the team, like, I always think, like, yeah, it's nice playing the teams in the Big 12 and stuff, like the teams that we usually play. But when you get to these bowl games and you have an opportunity to play a team like Miami, ton of history there.
Yep. Absolutely.
We've played Oregon, Clemson, Notre Dame. Like, these are 4 teams right there that I just named off in a bowl game that we've played that when you hear those names, you think like the top of college football.
Excellence.
You know what I mean? Like, so just being able to go out there and, I mean, now beat Miami, that's something that you could definitely feel good about.
Yeah, I mean, it's playing those types of teams are like, has been a difference maker for our program. And I think, we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for that Notre Dame game. Because that was for sure a reality check for our program. We did things differently. We hired new coaches. And then you turn around and we talk about the same thing with the Clemson game. Like, these are difference makers. Like, oh, these guys are the best of the best in college football, and they have been for a long time. What are they doing to get to their level? And obviously, it comes with, like, tradition, all that stuff as well. But to see and play against those guys, it can be a turning point for a program. So I'm excited to see, after this. I mean, there's no ceiling to what we can do at Iowa State now after this incredible year. So I'm really excited to see where they continue to grow throughout this offseason. So
it's kind of interesting to me, like, no disrespect or anything, because we played Memphis when I was there, but, like, when you go out there, even on the recruiting trail, and you see Iowa State go and get 6 million views because you're playing in a big time football game,
right?
Like, that is like, hey, when you can, that staff can say, hey, we go out and we play the best teams at the end of the year, compared to a Tulsa or a Memphis or what I mean? It's just a little bit different when you can say, like, hey, we went out there and we are on the national stage. You will be seen by America.
You got eyes on you.
And now, I mean, shoot, Iowa State's been putting dudes in the NFL consistently now too. So, like, that always does help. Like, when you say, we have a pathway where you come to Iowa State, you have an opportunity to go to the NFL because you played at Iowa State.
And I mean, I know, like, NFL GMs and coaches, like, you want to, they would love to take a guy from Coach Campbell's program just because everyone knows how it's run, and it's run, it's a smooth operation, and it prepares you really for the next level. The amount of success some of these guys in the NFL this year that we've had, I mean, look at Will McDonald, like, just a difference maker for the Jets. I think he's got 10.5 sacks this year. That's impressive. And, for Will, like, Iowa State changed his trajectory of, his career. So,
of his life. Oh.
Yeah. That's a
shout
a
out
really
to
good
Wilbert.
point.
Wilbert.
I do love Will McDonald. Well, this also makes me think of the conversation about Cam Ward playing, how he only played a half. We can definitely answer the question what you guys think about him only playing a half. But my point to him is the time he did play, Iowa State was still able to hang in there in that first half. So I feel like, again, people say bowl games don't matter, but that first half, how Iowa State played, does matter on the national stage. And you know what I mean? Like,
John Haycock is the second half coach too. Like, you can go say what you want. Like,
well, I was curious if he was going to play the first half or the second half. But yeah, what are you laughing about?
This guy.
So what you guys think about it?
He was dodging Coach Haycock. Is that what you trying
Yeah, he was dodging Coach Haycock. Like, hey, I don't pay Haycock, Coach. You know what I mean?
He gonna make my stat line look bad.
It ain't gonna be like the first half if I go out there and play.
My thoughts on that, though, is, you obviously got to do what you got to do, but, the competitor self, it's hard to think that he wasn't watching the end of the game and be like,
He wanted to go in on that last drive. I
was
bet
like,
you. I 100% bet you.
Guaranteed.
Because I know I would be itching and scratching and going on that last. Oh, let me go win this game real quick.
right. No, absolutely. But I mean, as a Tennessee Titans fan, potentially number 2 overall draft pick. Come on now, I'd take Cam Ward in a heartbeat. I was impressive to actually watch a game of his, just a half.
Yeah, I was shocked. I hadn't really watched him play all year.
Right.
Going out there, and I was like, yeah, this dude can play ball.
Yeah.
He is the difference maker.
I mean, I know we talk about injuries. Like, obviously, we had a bunch on our side too, but he was down as like top 4 receivers, and he was still making it look so easy back there.
Smooth.
As far as like your kind of question, like, hey, what are our thoughts on it? I don't really have a problem with it. Like, he went out there and he played a half with his guys. Like, there's guys that say, hey, I'm not playing at all. He took some sort of calculated risk and said, hey, I want to go out there and do something. I want to get an NCAA record, whatever it may be. Yeah, I see how you can see it as quitting on his team very easily. In bowl games, it's kind of become the culture now where it's like, hey, if a dude doesn't play, like, I respect it. I have no, like, even an Iowa State guy, I don't have any problem with them saying, like, I'm sitting out on this one. Every snap that you play more is a potential risk that you do get hurt. He is going to be a top 5 pick. The fact that he even stepped out on the field, I thought was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it's like if you're a glass half full or glass half empty type of person. So
Literally.
You can either look at it like, hey, he didn't play the second half. What the heck? Or you could say, hey, he actually played the first half for us, which is very valuable to, even staying in the game. I mean, Miami could have easily, been down 28-0 if, something went different. So I'm a glass half full kind of guy myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think people look into it too much. Like,
Right.
if you wanted to play to get a NCAA record, okay, it's an NCAA record. I would play for that. You would too. You're just mad that you're not in that position.
Right.
So, like, I mean, people just look at it. Obviously, you can look at it half empty, half full. But it's not your life. It's that guy's life. I mean, you're not going out there risking your body. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I think it's just interesting to hear it just because everyone's talked it to death on Twitter, of course, especially too. And some people were like, this is so disgraceful to his teammates. They must be so upset with him. So I was just curious, like, if you were in that position, like Cam Ward's your teammate. He's like, oh, no, I'm only playing a half. Like, how you would feel about it.
His teammates would probably telling him not to play the whole game.
Yeah.
I remember I was telling Brees not to play against, not just because I wanted to play. Hey, bro, chill out, bro. Hey, Brees, hey, you already went crazy on this shit, bro. Chill out. No, but I mean, as a brother, you want the best for him, and you obviously understand what could happen in a game like this, where I mean, you're not playing for anything. In a way, obviously, you're playing for the trophy and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just one more risk that when you have to go work out for the draft here in 3 weeks that you're just eliminating. So, I mean, him going out there at all, obviously, is just...
Especially because, like, he didn't have to prove anything. Like, there's two sides to things, but then also, like, for Jalen Newell, I thought it was incredible. Like, for him to be able to say, like, hey, I went out on top, like, had one of the best games of his career. So it's, like, a double-edged sword where, like, he's gonna be a top 5 pick. Like, for him to even step foot on that field, like...
If you got hurt, people would be killing him.
Yeah.
Like, why would you go out there and play?
Right.
But, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet Jalen Knowles' draft stock went skyrocketed through the roof a little bit. So
I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I'm on Niners Twitter, so hopefully the Niners pick him up somewhere.
Well,
need him in the two-tone blue, dude.
He wants to go to the Chiefs, I bet.
Yeah, 100%. Kansas City, he's going
Kansas
home.
City guy. I saw something in the Kansas City Tribune like, let's bring this guy home.
Catching balls from Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anyone would be too mad about that.
Well, Jalen Newell finished his career second in school history for receptions, fourth in receiving yards, 2,855, and tied for fourth in touchdown receptions, 18.
Wow.
Legacy.
And he made an impact on special teams throughout his career, too.
Yeah.
I'd want to know what I don't know if they up there with Kane on the kick returns, but punt return, he's definitely got to be.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
high up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, looking ahead, how do you guys feel about next season?
Ready to roll.
It's to be honest, because the team could look so different. I mean, we came
football.
into this year with expectations to see Caleb Bacon every Saturday, and you know what I mean. Like he got hurt, so it's like when obviously you want to take this like off season to get everybody back and get that chemistry rolling. And obviously we have guys who played this year because of injury, so those guys will be ready for any situation next year. Obviously there'll be some battles for spots, and obviously we'll have guys out of the portal that'll come in, and the dynamic will kind of change a little bit, but the goal is still the same.
Yeah, I think honestly going into the offseason, I know we got a long time until the first game, but when you go out there and win a game like that against Miami, like in a fun environment, like great game, everything like that, it does like get you a little bit more excited for next season. Like, hey, what's going to come back? Knowing that, hey, Iowa State has what every team wants, a good quarterback, right? We know we still have a good defense. We know we have a lot of playmakers around there. Obviously, we lose some guys, but like, we returning a lot of guys on the offensive line. A lot of guys that got reps this year on the offensive line that are going to have another offseason to develop, learn from Coach Clanton, allow him to kind of dig his roots into those guys more. Obviously tight end position, stacked at that position. Receivers, lost some huge guys, but obviously we've gone out and got a couple guys, and we've seen some of these guys step up in this game where it's like, is he going to be the same caliber?
Yeah. People
but,
are going to want to play with Rocco.
Yeah, people want to play with Rocco. You look at running back. Hey, both of those guys had a good season. Abu Sama wasn't quite what we maybe thought he was going to be coming off that K-State game last year, but you go out there and you watch Carson Hansen just kind of ball out all season and progressively get better. Defensive line, I think, is an area where we're probably going to see quite a few guys come in, would be my guess. Linebackers might be our best position group next year with the number of dudes who got experience on that end of things.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 10 guys on the roster that will have played and know what it's like to prepare, and that just going into the offseason adds so much value. And then obviously the back half has been great the last couple of years.
Yeah, every offseason, every team starts in the same exact spot. And we're recording this during the Rose Bowl right now. I don't know what the score is, but I'm assuming Oregon lost. Oregon's going to start in the same spot. They went 13-1 this year, and they're going to start in the same spot as Iowa State, who's going to start in the same spot as Oklahoma State, who didn't make a bowl game. So it's really about getting back, and you have to build it pretty much from scratch again. Obviously, you use experience and stuff like that, but you have to build a whole new team. There's new leaders, there's new veterans, there's new guys, different locker room dynamics. It's how you're going to bring up the young guys in case someone's got to play next year. I would probably credit a lot of that senior leadership this year for getting those guys ready. That doesn't happen, when the injury happens in September or October. That starts to happen, in January. So it'll be really crucial, how they start to develop their team. And I believe this would be team 134 in Iowa State football history. So, it's how team 134, goes about their offseason. So, because it's important. As much as it's terrible, it's awful.
It is a little unique this year, too, like with the roster changes, with like the portal, people can go to the portal, but like, because you go to the portal doesn't mean that you're going to come out of the portal like it kind of did in the past. So, there's a lot of guys that are, 25 guys that are having to be essentially cut from a team going into the portal.
Yeah.
So it's going to be flooded with more guys than normal, and NIL obviously continues to play a part in that. So it'll be interesting to see how, portal over the next couple of years does kind of evolve.
It's a good point. I forgot about because, the college football goes to, 105 max guys on a team now,
I believe so.
which is crazy. Like
All scholarship, no walk-ons now. Isn't that what it is?
I don't know the
I
exact.
think teams can choose whether I think if they want to do honor all 105 scholarships.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, that kind of stinks. But I guess it's the landscape it is in college football now. So
Yeah.
because if looking at this year, Rocco Beck was just as important as team member 133. Does that mean whatever? So yeah, I mean each player is important. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a holistic form. Rocco's more important.
Well,
Don't say that.
133 might be able to be
I
replaced.
mean, yeah, you can say that when you're on the team and you're the captain. Yeah, I'm the captain, but the guy at the end of the bench, we're equal. Yeah,
right, guys.
but we're on the outside and we see it for what it really is. Rocco's more important than a lot of the players on the team.
all right. You got me. Darn it.
Well,
I'll take it.
Before I ask
I'm
my
gonna eat my
next
Pop-Tart.
question, Remy's going to eat a Pop-Tart, and we're going to talk about our sponsors. Today's program is brought to you by our friends at Wyffels Hybrids, where commitment to excellence and tailored corn hybrids come together. Wyffels Hybrids understands what Midwestern farmers need to succeed with products bred specifically for our region's fields and conditions. They are also a family-owned business, and they're Cyclone supporting Cyclones. So,
Gotta love family owned.
yeah. Wyffels delivers the hybrid advantage to help maximize yield potential. If you want to learn more, check them out at wyffels.com, which is WYFFELS.com. And then shout out to our friends at Iowa State University, Ivy College of Business. They are where future business leaders are made. So 2 people at this table have business degrees. So
Get your business degree.
Huh?
Get your business degree.
Yeah, get a business degree. They have top-notch programs, a fantastic faculty, and an awesome building that you get to study in. So, yeah, shout out to them. Jirehl, I wanted to ask you about the running backs. Obviously, Carson Hansen had himself a game. What was it, like
Yeah, I thought he was
3?
going to win the MVP, no cap. I was kind of mad about it, but it is what it is. You know?
Rocco was the MVP, bro.
I know.
3 touchdowns?
I'm saying.
I think I was going to say it was 3.
They both had 3 touchdowns.
That's true.
Who started the game off,
With a bang.
with a bang?
Right.
Well, Carson Hansen's 30-yard touchdown run in the first quarter was the longest touchdown run in a bowl game in school history.
Wow.
His 18 points broke Iowa State's bowl game record. So,
Wow.
So, who was really the MVP, Jake?
It's fair.
No, I mean, he's just been really consistent all year. I think he's seen. I mean, when you're in there, the more you're in there, the more the game slows down. Runs that earlier in the year probably would have hit for 4 or 5, are now going for 10, 20. Obviously, people get more film on you. So going into next year, people get more film on them. It'll be a little bit tougher, but with the offensive line and just he's going to get better as well. So like next year, I would literally just say, just continue doing what you're doing. It will be harder because defenses are going to scheme for him. Now, this year they obviously we were all kind of expecting to see more of Abu, but Carson kind of just took the helm and Coach Campbell's years here, most likely after that one person has a really good year. When I think of my freshman year when Brees came in, he really didn't go off until the West Virginia game, and then from there, that's when you started seeing him get like 80 and more, like 70% of the carries, and then the next year he came in and got like 90%. So like this is kind of going to be the year that he is the person who takes all the carries and is in most of the game, and that's going to be a conditioning thing that he's going to have to take on, but. I feel like he'll be able to do it just with another off season to get better, and another off season with the running back coach and the offensive line just honing in on their craft and just getting better and getting better chemistry with them.
do you feel good about the future of the running back room?
I always feel good about the future of the running back room when with Iowa State at least.
What about you guys with the offensive line?
I think it's exciting. Obviously, the more guys that Coach Clanton continues to bring in and develop in his system, it's been cool for me to kind of go in and didn't play for him, just to see what he's working on and just hear how these guys bond together and be like, oh, we love Coach. Like, there's no questions asked. Like, it's all in. Everyone's all in on that guy. So it's easy for them to be like, we're going to work our ass off for this guy because like we believe what he's telling us. So it's been really cool to kind of see, those guys buy in. And then he's also getting to recruit guys that like he knows fits his style and his system. So obviously every coach is going to be a little bit different. He likes big tackles, right? We didn't have tackles really when I was at Iowa State. We didn't have 6'6" tackles. We had, how tall are you, Remy?
6'6", dude.
Okay, well, Miller's 6'9".
I know.
Jalen Travis is
He's 6'9" too.
6'9" too.
Yeah.
So and you look
crazy.
at about like
We had
at UNI.
5 guards my freshman year. We had 5 guards.
Yeah, Tyler Miller, Hufford was playing. We had all sorts
Julian
of guys.
Jones started as a center.
Yeah. So just like seeing the different style of guys, like Spencer Brown with the Buffalo Bills out of UNI, 6'9" tackle. So just
6'9"
seeing
tackle.
how those guys kind of develop, and he gets to recruit guys that fit his mold for offensive line. I think is continuing to show up. But no, I think it's really good. Returning some guys. We played so many guys on the offensive line this year that like essentially you have 5 starters coming back. Obviously, you lose a couple guys that are huge key contributors with Hufford and Jalen Travis, but obviously transfer portal's a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we go get a tackle. And then other than that, like we have dudes who have played a lot of football now. Brendan Black will be coming back, and he's played for 2 years. Having the Wisconsin guy, Dylan Barrett,
yep.
coming back, he played good football until he had his ankle injury. Trevor Bohr, right?
Yeah, Trevor Burr.
Yeah, having him come back, he has played a lot of football now at this point on the interior. So you got guys that come back and have obviously played a lot of football. So I think it's going to be a huge offseason of growth, and just seeing how those guys kind of mesh together with the new additions will be super exciting.
Yeah, you hit some good points there. The first one being recruiting. When Clayton got here, obviously we get recruited by him. So, I mean, this will be his 3rd year coming up now. So, for him to get his guys in is going to be huge for the continued development of that group. And then, yeah, we have so many guys on our roster that have played football. Jim Boniface is another guy that still has a whole season under his belt that he didn't play this year, but we just have a lot of experience. And Trevor Burr, for him to come in this year, I was really impressed.
I thought he played really
well. And I am so excited to see how he continues to develop in his career, because he's a good player. And if you would have told me last year that he'd be starting most of the games this year or get to that point by the end of the year, I would have been like, really? Like that, I did not see that one coming at all. But he was really really good player for us this year. Obviously, you get Tyler Miller coming back, which is also huge because he was playing really good football towards the end of the year. And, the offensive line, this is where the real work begins, is hitting the weight room. Like, who is going to continue to develop, through the offseason? Who's going to get stronger? Who's going to get more agile? Who's going to, get quicker in their pass sets over the offseason? So, yeah, I mean, that whole group, you can tell they're all bought into a vision in that room. And it starts with the coaches and it trickles down to the players, and they're all in unison in that room. And that's what you want as an offensive line. And so, yeah, I'm going to put it on the table right now, like Joe Moore Award winners 2025. I'm going to put that out there.
I think one thing, too, that people don't realize is, like, often all positions are position maturity. But when you're, like, in the trenches, like, you got a 24-year-old dude versus we're seeing older than 24-year-olds in college football now.
Yeah.
But you got a
22,
23-year-old
28
who just has had 3 or 4 years in a college weight room and felt that physicality compared to, we've had a lot of guys play young football. I played pretty young. Remy played pretty young. Every year that you got another offseason to put on some more mass, get a little bit stronger, you go like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had this last year, because it's a game changer. So having that experience and just that physical nature and that ability to have those experiences and be a little more mature, if you're a fast wide receiver and you can just run past people, it doesn't really matter, how big or strong you are. If you can run by people and catch football, sweet. But those positions, it's a position of maturity. And certainly as you do grow older, all positions, it gets a little bit easier, but certainly offensive line, just being able to put that mass on and be 320 pounds, it takes time.
Yeah, and still agile.
Yeah, it takes time. Like you can't just wake up one night and be like, hey, I came into Iowa State at 250 pounds. I got to gain 80 pounds to be,
Yeah, it takes a long time.
physical.
Except me, though. I came in at 315 pounds out of high school, so It was pretty quick for me.
That's crazy. It's crazy. This is over.
Yeah,
Season's over.
bro.
Over.
Happy New Year to all the viewers too, bro.
Yeah.
You know, 2025
Holidays.
is about to be the best year of your life.
You're the
Speaking
Cyclone.
it into existence.
Manifesting on the pod.
I love that, Jirehl. Good vibes.
You know what I'm saying,
Into
bro? It's
2025.
It's 2025 now. Like everything that was in 2024, leave it in 2024.
The past.
That's in the past. DCI, leave them in 2024.
So we have to leave the 2024 Iowa State Cyclone Football in the past now?
The bad things
That's
in
in
the
the
past.
past. Don't be like an Iowa Hawkeye and just live in the past. Move to the future. That's what we're moving towards nowadays.
Which, speaking of, Jalen Knoll popping off on the Hawkeyes
Oh my
on
gosh.
Twitter.
That was awesome.
I love Jalen.
We can
bro.
just sit here and scroll through
Oh
his
my
freaking
gosh.
feed.
That was awesome.
Is that like, is it like a rule? Like, would Campbell be mad at him if he'd done that anytime during the season?
Oh, that would fly.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it wouldn't have flied.
I don't think you
I
just
feel like
don't
it would
do
have been
that.
like, what are you
comments.
doing?
It's like-
right, like,
Like
it's
as a
just
teammate, like I would be like, all right, bro, like what you doing? Like, like, now, would you leave? Pop your shit.
Yeah.
No more distractions at this point, right? Like,
Right.
hey, you're
Go
game
ahead,
on.
bro.
Oh,
That was good comedic relief. Waking up and seeing that.
Yeah,
I'm
him
like,
just
oh my gosh,
popping off.
he did not stop. It was like it was incredible. It wasn't just like one jab. It was like, hey, here's
There's
another
multiple.
one.
no, he like broke multiple Hawkeyes.
Oh yeah,
Oh, good time.
That's one thing I want to point out for next year. We got to get that win at home. Got to.
Yeah.
The last 2 times we're in Kinnick. I need to see Ames, Iowa, with the Cyclone Cyhawk win.
The only
in
thing,
2025.
yeah, bro. The only thing about like the talking back and forth, the goalpost just gets moved every time. Like you say one thing, it's like, oh, but you have it on this. Oh, but you have it on this. Oh,
no,
no.
no, but you haven't on this.
Thanks, Hawkeye Doug, for the recommendation to take Jalen Knowles'
I
phone away.
just, just a simple no and then just hit right. Yeah, I love it.
It's money.
I love it. I support it. I'm always team trash talk. So, like when Hufford talked shit on, who was it, Texas? I know. He had to kind of eat that, but I don't care.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
That
do it
was-
It
anyway.
was awesome. He was the one that was going to get the most of it. So, I remember the warm-ups that day, and, they were pointing at Hufford, just like... And I was like, yes, this might be a long day for you, buddy. Better be ready.
And that was one of the better D-lines.
He did actually play really well that game, though. So he did back up his talk a little bit. And against a really good defensive line.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I'm not really with the Twitter fingers for real. Especially not with a burner that you don't even use your real name.
Build up by Cam Ward not playing the second half. LOL. 2019.
Wholly obsessed with us. Get help. Okay.
This is great.
Yeah, no, he's a great troll. It's very, very fun to keep up with all of that.
I wish I was good at trolling. I'm not.
I know, me either.
I just don't.
See, I'm not, because I'll take it too far. I'll get personal. I will get personal. Because I don't care if you go personal with me, because, I've lived my life. Like, I know, I don't care.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want. But me, I'll get to where it hurts.
somebody's gonna not like you anymore.
Well, I will say, shout out to everyone who listened. Our first year
Love
done.
our fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
New.
The amount of
new
people that
pod.
came up, to us around, different games and stuff. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, everyone's super
Walmart.
supportive.
And we appreciate our wonderful hosts for corralling us
Yeah.
all year.
Oh, thank you.
us
Thank
on
you, guys.
track.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hard job.
Corralling the Stallions.
The Stooges.
3 Stooges.
No, this is fun. I hope we're back again next season.
We'll be back.
Absolutely.
We will be back.
Let's run it back.
Fan interaction. is always fun.
2025, best year of your life. Don't forget it.
Let's go.
Maybe we should do something in the off season. I don't know. Never mind.
Well,
Maybe I should get more interactive on Twitter. If you guys have questions,
Bro, I should too, but like I said, I don't like the Twitter finger.
I know.
well, yeah.
Hard.
Especially when other fan bases get into it, it's like, okay, bro, chill, stay on that side. Stay on that side, bro. I'm talking to my people.
All right.
I'm talking to.
We hope that
Cyclone
you guys
Nation.
enjoy our 2025 national champion basketball team for the rest of the year.
Where's this going?
It's basketball season now, boys and girls.
Yeah, time to focus our attention, right?
I'll be there Saturday against Baylor.
Should be a good one.
Yeah, it should be. I love watching our basketball team, by the way, too. Curtis Jones is like, I want to get a jersey, I think.
This guy.
I think I might actually.
This guy.
Well, on that note, thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate all of you. And like I say always, shout out to our presenting sponsor, Wyffels Hybrids and Iowa State University Ivy College of Business. So we'll be back next season.
See ya.
Run it back.